happy Sunday. I'm sick as hell for the past couple of days. I actually feel like a human being today. Anyway, so I watched the Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. I think like 9 or 10 when that whole situation went down. And I'm from LA, so I remember it vividly. I don't remember, obviously, all the details of the case because I was like 9 or 10. But going back and watching it, see, when I was a kid, everybody was kind of demonizing them and I remember they made fun of them on Saturday Night Live, and they even captured that on the show, Jay Leno. All those people deserve they owe Lyle and Erik Menendez an apology. These boys were sexually abused their entire life by their dad and their mother. And their father, the way that he sexually abused them, oh my God, just sickening. He was sadistic. The things that he did to them, especially Erik. And then you realize the mom was just fucked up too and knew what was going on and turned a blind eye. It's amazing they didn't take their asses out sooner. Now, I don't condone killing anyone, but if a motherfucker is raping me my entire life, I can't tell anybody. Most of the family knows it, but they're all scared of the dad. He's a gazillionaire because he was a movie executive. Check that T. And no one's going to believe me anyway. What am I supposed to do? Their dad was so controlling that they couldn't even stay on campus when they went to college. They had to stay at the house. Controlling who they dated, like everything. And I know some people say you have to forgive. Fuck all that. Forgiveness is overrated. Sorry, not sorry. Sometimes forgiveness is in the form of a fucking shotgun blast to the motherfucking face. Them motherfuckers deserved everything they got. Everything. That father was horrible. Horrible doesn't even begin to describe. Calling them, the fact that show is called Monsters should be, I hope it's referring to the parents. Because to call the dad a monster is an insult to monsters. Why have kids if that's how you're going to treat them? And then when you find out that the father was molested too and then you find out that the dad was molested too by his mom and his dad. So that's how we're paying it forward? That's what we're doing? And then you find out the dad was terrible to the mom. She obviously had fucking issues and was insecure and didn't want to lose her husband, even though he would beat the fuck out of her and cheat on her. And it seemed like the dad was really struggling with his sexuality, like struggling. And fun fact, the dad ended up being the head of RCA Records at one point and even signed the Latin boy group Menudo and molested one of them. Go check out the documentary on Hulu. The way the justice system failed these two men is crazy to me. And it's funny, you can't even bring race up. It ain't a race. This isn't even a race issue. This might be a money issue. They were making it seemed like they were making an example out of these two young kids. Now, granted, when you watch it, they did a lot of dumb shit after they killed their parents. That fucking spending spree was crazy. But when you learn their origin story, what the fuck were they going to do anyway? Fucking terrible. And to think about it. So you were raped by your dad and your mom. Most of actually all of your childhood. When they killed their parents, Erik was 18 and I think Lyle was 21. Then you get convicted and you go to prison for life. So these motherfuckers have never had real freedom, ever. They need to let them out. If you can set bitch ass OJ free, you could let them free. And what's funny, they were locked up with OJ at one point. Totally. That 1994 was the lit ass year because that was the same year with the whole OJ murders. Gypsy Rose is free. Pedophiles get less fucking time. Let's talk about it. They need to let them go. And I know they're mad about the Netflix series, but in a weird way, they should be thanking it because it shed more light. It brought more light to their case. And what's funny, shout out to Kim Kardashian because she's trying to get them free now. They should be free. They served 30 years in prison. They've done their time. I mean, if you really want to talk about it, they've been in prison their whole lives, even before they got officially locked up. The stuff that there's an episode called The Hurt Man. The whole episode is Erik Menendez talking about how his father raped. That episode is so hard to watch. It was funny, like 28 minutes in, I'm like, the whole episode is him sitting in this, like, he's in prison or jail or whatever. He's talking to his attorney. Her back is to the camera, and the camera is just slowly panning in on him talking about the way his father would rape him. Fucking horrible shit. And what's crazy is everybody knew and no one did anything. They told their cousins. I think they told their aunt at one point, the grandma. But everybody was scared of Jose Menendez. That breaks my heart. It breaks my fucking heart. And then I look at all this Diddy shit and all the, like, sexual trauma. Like, sexual trauma in general is no joke. But to be raped and molested by your dad and your mom your whole life, I don't blame them for shooting the fuck out of them. They'd have got shot the fuck up too. If that had been me, I would have poisoned them. I would have did some shit like on Oz when they grinded up the glass in dude's food and fed it to homeboy. I would have did some shit like that. It would have been a slow burn with my ass. Look at me, I'm angry. It's angering. They need to let them out. They need to let them the fuck out. 30 years, they did their time. Out. Gypsy Rose out here on TMZ, pregnant, getting married. Like, come on. Come on. Anyway, if you feel like doing it, watch the Netflix show Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. I think everyone should watch it. It is definitely a cautionary tale, and it's a prime example of money can't buy you happiness. These motherfuckers, the dad was worth $14.3 million when he was killed. They lived in Beverly Hills, Princeton, Calabasas, had the best teachers, school, they were into sports, the best everything. Meanwhile, your dad's raping you. And here's what's wild. Their father took showers with them, and that was public knowledge. Why is a 14-year-old taking a shower with their father?